to the world. Subscribe now to the Hot 97 YouTube channel. It's Ebro in the Morning with Laura Stiles and Rosenberg.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ebro in the Morning, trying to keep you up to the time on everything transpiring across the nation, even in our city. On the line right now with us, Jumaane Williams, public advocate. Give it up one time, man. There it is. Jumaane, you got us? You can hear us?
Yeah. Peace and blessings.
Peace, man. So we saw you the other day at the podium, very emotional, and I wanted to catch up with you because I wasn't sure if you got to finish saying what you wanted to say because you were overwhelmed with emotion. And you had, you were addressing people dying of COVID-19. You were addressing what's going on with the George Lloyd situation, Breonna Taylor in Kentucky, as well as even you said that people were saying they had bigger fish to fry and that the NYPD, they're offended by the assertion that there's racist tactics taking place. First of all, it caught me when I heard that because I was like, who said that? Who said the NYPD is not tied to anything racist? Where did that come from?
They say it all the time. First of all, I appreciate the opportunity. I got to come back after, but it was just a lot, man. And we have to walk around and go back to work like everything's all right. And we're not okay, man. And I just wanted to give a space to say that and give a space for black women who are in spaces that they speak up. They're angry black women. There's people like Amy Cooper that cause folks to lose jobs and lose lives and things like that. So all of that, we're dealing with. And, when you have the police commissioner has relayed that this is not a racist institution. It's not a discrimination.
Dermot
Shea, yeah. And I want to be clear, I've had some great private conversations with Dermot Shea, and I'm hoping more of those conversations come out to the public because giving this message that there's no discriminatory policing is a problem. You can't fix a problem that you won't say is there. And Benjamin Tucker, who was the deputy commissioner and the highest ranking black official, shocked me, man. It was a kick in the chest when he said we have bigger fish to fry. He said we're not pursuing Amy Cooper because we have bigger fish to fry. And I was like, what is happening right here, man? There's no other bigger fish to fry than institutional racism. And I have to be clear because I'm a supporter of restorative justice. And so I'm happy that the Human Rights Commission is looking into it. But if you're going to tell me you have all the tools and you use the tools, the summonses, the violations in certain communities, and this one you say there's bigger fish to fry, dude, that one kicked me in my chest, and it was unexpected, and I just that space was too much. I'm trying hard.
Are you getting the feeling right now, that with everything going on, the NYPD is being lazy about maintaining or working to maintain a good relationship with the everyday citizen of New York City?
What happens in cities, states across the country is NYPD is the public face for all of the things that people are suffering at any given time. So when women are going and dying, giving birth at a higher rate because people don't believe their pain, or you're going through COVID-19 and everybody's losing their jobs, or you live in NYCHA or public housing and there's rats all over. This is before even COVID. Or you don't have a damn mask and the police are sent in to punch you in the face and throw you on the floor. The police represent all of that. And instead of addressing all of the institutions that deal with racism, or even if it's just implied, even if it's not, you don't have to be a racist to be a part of an institution that is discriminatory based on race. So I need people to understand that. And so you send police officers. It's actually unfair to the officers and unfair to the community. And then on top of that, when you won't and can't have a public admission of what folks are dealing with, you continually tell folks their experiences are not real. What happens at the breaking point of that? What do you expect is going to happen?
Well, so much about what's hurt people these days is about, Jumaane, exactly that, public admission, right? I mean,
accountability.
If we weren't, if in Minneapolis they had brought that dude in and the public saw the image of him in cuffs being taken in the way they would be if the same thing had happened, maybe we're not looking at what we're looking at right now. But that seems to be something they won't give us. Now, what do you expect to see over the next several days in terms of how people protest here in New York, which seemed to pick up yesterday?
You know, I'm trying my best to make it to the. There's one today. It's going to be happening in Foley Square. Protest is a critical part of getting messages out there. But I just want folks to understand how tired people are, how fed up people are in every facet of life.
People ain't tired, man. People ain't tired.
Yeah.
People are fed up. People have had enough.
Yeah.
They're not tired.
That's a fact.
These young people that are out here making sure that their voice is heard, their legs is fresh. I'm seeing a lot of fresh legs out here.
That's right. That's correct. And, you know, people have been screaming no justice, no peace for a very long time. For a very long time. If Gregory Floyd, dude, if that didn't happen, we wouldn't even be here. And you can't even arrest these people. And I want folks to be clear. Even the firing and all that is simply because there was a video. So all the people who are dealing with this with no video can't even have their case heard.
Oh, absolutely. But that's why, to me, the Amy Cooper case is so important, because if he didn't have the video, the police could have came, they could have arrested him. Let's just say he was just like a regular teenager, thrown him in jail if he didn't have the money for bail. I mean, they would have ruined this person's life.
Or he could be end up even dead.
Yes.
I saw a profound post. You know, if Emmett Till had a camera, maybe he might be alive. If Christian Cooper did not, he may be dead. When I got arrested on Labor Day a few years ago, my brother Kirsten Foy, the only account that was taken seriously was Kirsten's, because he had pictures and video. My account wasn't even respected, and I was a council member. If my word doesn't mean as much, I don't know what these brothers in the street word means.
The president tweeted yesterday, and Twitter flagged the tweet and said, when the looting starts, the shooting starts, the military has your back, Minnesota. So we're basically seeing the highest executive in the land arm the military against the citizens and prepare the military to attack citizens. This is that point where you know this has been speculated for many generations that there would come a day where we would have leadership that would turn their military completely against citizens, not just local police, not National Guard, but the military, which is, I don't believe, ever happened before.
I do want to shout out Move Africa, which is the only group that was bombed by police.
But that was by police. That still wasn't the military, correct?
That's true. That's true. That was local police. Yeah.
That was local police bombed Move Africa in Philly.
Yeah, that's right.
And I bring this up because I just said a second ago, I want to know the military men and women, as well as local police, who are going to disobey their orders when this day comes. Because it's going to be crucial.
We're at a tipping point. We are at a point we've only read about, and maybe even worse right now. You know, and I spoke about this, that 31 years ago, the President of the United States in that same Central Park where we were took out an ad to execute 5 innocent black men. He's the president right now, not despite that, but because of it. That's why people are not okay right now. And now you're saying if the looting starts, the shooting starts. This is the president of the United States of America. This buffoon who's telling people freaking drink chloride and Clorox and all this crap is the one who's going to send people to shoot people who are hurting instead of trying to figure out how to ease the pain and how to ease the hurt.
Well, that wasn't his base, Jumaane. He had to say the looting starts, the shooting starts, because he doesn't care those who are in pain. He wants to rile up his base, which is what that tweet does. It gets him support from his haters.
All they care about is votes and money. That's it. That's all. And you see this even with the coronavirus. They don't even care about the lives of the people who are supporting them. I mean, most of the folks who are dying are black and brown, but there's white people dying too. in those communities. He don't care about that. But, I'm astonished, really. And I see what's happening here in New York City with this local leadership, and all of it is in Trump. There's going to be a reckoning this weekend. I'm waiting to see how the mayor and the police are going to deal with the protests that happened here. I'm waiting to see what the governor's going to do. The governor was the one who gave the orders to enforce social distancing. I don't know if people realize that. He said municipalities have to enforce this, and that's what they started to do. We're in a real bad.
So the arrests that we saw, the 70 arrests yesterday, happened because of social distancing. So that'll be their reason if you're standing too close.
Is that right?
I don't know. I'm asking. I don't know. They said 70 people were arrested yesterday.
Oh, I'm not sure what the arrests are. If they were for social distancing, we got a whole, I don't even know what to say, because across the country we got people openly violating, some of them places with arms.
Yeah, I don't know if that's the reason yesterday. I do know.
So I'm looking.
I do know they hit an NYPD officer in the head with a garbage can who allegedly was going after people. So they bopped him.
Yeah.
But that it's gonna continue to get worse unless leadership starts to de-escalate. And by leadership, that's people who have a badge and a gun and are on the ground all the way up to the governor.
Yeah, I'm a public official, so I have to be responsible. I mean, don't be hitting police in the head with garbage cans, man. We gotta try not to do that. I don't think that's gonna help move forward. But I do want to still even understand that angle. I want to understand why that person's doing that. And if we can get to that, we only have to worry about the response and the reaction. And what folks need to understand is the presence of police is going to cause agitation. And so, yes, I understand there's a job to do, but we don't need that many blue and white shirts. We don't need to have that much presence, stage somewhere else, because the presence is going to be a problem right now.
Of course.
But I want to remind people, all of the institutions have these issues, from education to medicine to housing, all of them. And that's where the anger is. And people we focus a lot on the police, which I understand, but people are getting killed, are dying every single day in those other institutions. And that's what I want people to focus on, because we have the ability right now, because of this pandemic, to create a society that is more equitable and has justice. But there are lots of people who don't want to give up their privilege. There are lots of people like Amy Cooper who are comfortable, even while being recorded, to express their privilege. And that's what the problem is here. That equity and justice is too much of a danger to privilege that I think a lot of people don't want to give up.
There's been calls for arrest for George Floyd's killer, the officer in Minneapolis. Even Biden believes that enough wasn't done when the four cops were fired. He said that's not enough. Did you see him talking about systematic racism and dealing with that in America?
I did not. I hope he did well, because obviously some of the other interviews did not. And I just want people.
I find it interesting that Joe Biden, talking specifically about officers being arrested, didn't travel farther.
It didn't. Ebro, I mentioned to my brother last night, he had not seen it either. And we all remarked on how good he was, and yet, of course, nobody seemed to see that at all.
Bring up the Biden.
I just...
Go ahead, Jumaane.
The Republicans are willing to rip this country apart to maintain a system of privilege that is very much based on bigotry. And the Democrats are willing to risk them to allow it to happen so they can maintain theirs by putting forward someone like Biden. That's it's amazing to watch happen in slow motion. And then get mad at everybody for pointing out all the things we said before y'all put them in place.
That's right.
They come with the same tired thing they gave in 2016, that you have to vote for this person or Trump wins. And it didn't work in 2016. And so I'm imploring everybody, instead of telling folks, don't point out the BS that we see and told you about, you should work on correcting it before November. Work on making this person a better candidate for people to be excited to come out and vote.
But then here's the other problem, and likely why the Biden thing didn't travel farther, is people are hearing him try to be better. And as he works, I'm hearing allegedly works with the Bernies and the Stacey Abrams and Elizabeth Warrens to make his platform better and more progressive. Do and will people actually believe it?
Well, I know you can't do that by vetting Amy Klobuchar for your vice president pick.
And I was just going to say that. Amy Klobuchar had an opportunity to press charges against the officer that just killed George Floyd. And that was back in 2008. The man that killed George Floyd has 12 different police brutality accounts against him.
And a couple with deaths involved, including that one.
That one. And Amy Klobuchar did not press charges, which is probably why she's silent right now.
And this is the person that you're vetting to be your vice president.
But hold on, Jumaane. That's vetting, though. Isn't that the point of vetting? Like, didn't people...
No, don't vet her. We know her. We heard her. We know what she's about. And people don't, that is not who you bring on or even say that you're vetting if you're trying to make amends with communities that you need to excite. You just don't do it. You don't give interviews like you did and then vet Amy Klobuchar. You're working with no chips here. You got no chips, man. You got to build chips. Start vetting people publicly that will excite a base, man, or we're going to lose.
And it was interesting, Rosenberg. Why was there so much press around that vetting? And why isn't there so much press around vetting? Well, Kamala would already be vetted, and maybe Stacey Abrams was already vetted because she ran for governor. I don't know.
Well, I don't know why there would be. My assumption is there would be because of this sentiment that people were mad about it, and people found out about it. It became a bigger story. Do you think that the Biden campaign wanted people to know it?
I don't know. But the vetting story with Amy came out before this, right before this.
That's right. That's right. It came out. It was started. Yeah, before this happened. And so don't send that message. What are you vetting her for? What did she say that excited you, man? Like, people were screaming about the same things. I mean, we didn't know about George Floyd, but people were talking about her actions before, even regarding prosecutions and non-prosecutions. So what is there to vet? This is the problem that we have. Like, and to see so many leaders. I remember here we have black leaders trying to tell us to vote for Bloomberg. They're so afraid of their privilege being challenged by somebody by Bernie, and then that didn't work out. Oh Lordy, let's go to Biden. Like, I mean, this is crazy. I'm waiting for black leaders to come in 2022 and tell us why Cuomo again is a savior for the black community, because they're going to do it, and that's the reason that we are in this situation. Not only because of Trump, not only because of the governor and the mayor.
It's because of establishment.
Yes, sir. There is. New York City has the largest concentration of black and brown leaders, and other so-called progressive leaders. That the crap that happens here should not happen, and it's simply because establishment people want to protect establishment things.
Jumaane,
so I'm not. Go ahead.
Thank you for your time today.
And thank you for what you did the other day, man. That was truly one of the most moving things I've seen a local leader do in years. It was awesome.
Thank you, Jumaane.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I appreciate y'all.
And it sounded like Jumaane was giving all the black leaders who soft shoe and just line up with establishment one of these.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
Because the way this is going, this is not going the way it's supposed to be going.
Well, that's the thing. It is in fact going how it's supposed to be going. In fact, going how it was designed to go. Right. But we got to push back. That's the part of America I'm a part of. Always pushing back to make this thing be how it says it is, not how it was designed to be.